Item 75, report from BREC Superintendent Carolyn McKnight on her designee on Baton Rouge Zoo feasibility study. Final report discussed in the March 14, 2016 BREC Commissioners meeting by Councilwoman Banks. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public hearing. Anyone wish to speak on the item? Okay, Ms. Becky Bond.
Hi. My name is Becky Bond, and I live at 17522 Barrett Lane in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, 70817. And I'd like to thank you for hearing me today. Excuse me. I'd like to address the concerns I have with the information being shared in a variety of forums and presentations pertaining to the relocation of the Baton Rouge Zoo by BREC. The information being put forth in these presentations seems to be lacking consideration of the animals, the community of Scotlandville, and the greater East Baton Rouge City Parish at large. The BREC supplied feasibility study notes that 80 acres are needed in their study for splash pads, zip line, overnight cabins, etc. This greatly reduces the footprint for the animals. It's a zoo. You go to a zoo to see the animals and hopefully sometimes interact with them. The current location that the zoo resides on is at present 147 plus acres with more than 500 contiguous acres within the border of the owned property. It is the largest landholding for BREC, which includes Greenwood Park off of Highway 19 in Baker. Greenwood Park has a spacious clubhouse, restaurants, dog park, etc., in addition to 2 adjacent golf courses and other attributes. All of the features proposed in the feasibility study could be added at this property without additional real estate costs, as well as not reducing or altering animal enclosure sizes. Furthermore, the currently oddly placed and uninviting zoo entrance on Thomas Road could easily be relocated to Greenwood's existing entrance on Highway 19, which leads directly into the zoo. In fact, this information with a great deal of other details offering feasible alternatives to the proposed move was personally hand-delivered to Ms. McKnight and Mr. Frost on February 6th by myself, along with a small group of interested and concerned individuals. The sales pitch being made by BREC for a splash pad, water park, and sport complex at this site in exchange for the loss of a once flagship tourist site is woefully inadequate. There is ample space at this site to provide these in addition to the encroaching enhancements proposed in the public feasibility study at a new location. The proposal we offered was estimated at approximately half of the $110 million budget being proposed by BREC, excluding the splash pad and sports complex. I'm also aware of another proposal completed by LSU Landscape Architecture School, which addresses issues I have not touched upon, such as foliage and trees required at a new location. Ultimately, the feasibility study places this facility in such close proximity to the bordering parishes that revenues associated to the other aspects of tourism, such as dining and retail, would be sent to the neighboring parishes. This would leave East Baton Rouge bearing the tax burden and able to reap the benefit of the added tax revenues. When one considers that 70% of this parish is north of Florida Boulevard, and it would appear that there's a desire to just throw lion's share of investment into 30% of the parish, and to be fair, even more concentrated areas when looked at closely, at some point taxpayers have to question the decisions being made and the reasons behind them.
If you could please wrap it up at 15 seconds.
With all due respect, I urge the Council and the Mayor President to put a stop to the discussions once and for all so we can attempt to revive the languishing Baton Rouge Zoo facility where it is located at Greenwood Park currently.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Ms. Mary Manhein.
Hello, my name is Mary Manhein. I live at 6511 Jefferson Highway. I am in the Mid-City region. I'm a member of the Zoo Committee of the City Center Development District. All volunteers concerned with many issues affecting our city and our parish. Understanding that BREC's daily operations are somewhat independent of the council's supervision, but also appreciating that this council selects 6 of the 9 commission members who do control BREC, we bring you our concerns. We strongly oppose moving our zoo to Southeast Baton Rouge. Friends of the Zoo commissioned a 70-page feasibility study that recommends moving the zoo to southeastern Baton Rouge. They say more potential for the future in the southeast, more private donor support there, less public support if it's left in the same area, more people-friendly, more entertainment-oriented, more revenue. We disagree. BREC says zoo animals would be distressed if remodeling took place at the current zoo site. If that is true, how does any zoo maintain and upgrade its facilities. Zoos rarely move. The top 5 in the country, including the San Diego Zoo, #1 in the world, have never moved. Minimum price or cost to move, $110 million. Plus, they need a land donation, a long-term lease, or a land swap. Coincidentally, the study says they need the same $110 million to remodel the zoo at its current location. Remodeling we disagree. Remodeling could be incorporated into BREC's current operating budget, plus corporate sponsors, which we believe we can get. According to a BREC publication, from 2006 to 2014, 9 years, only around $7 million total were spent on our entire zoo, while in the last few years, BREC has spent over $7 million on the Liberty Lagoon, which is only open a few months a year. In contrast, in the last 15-plus years, Memphis, Tennessee has spent $77 million on their zoo. 2/3 of the tourists who go to Memphis say they go for the zoo, 1 million visitors a year. Also, our zoo contains tens, if not hundreds, of species of plants, including many mature trees. It would probably take more than 50 years to duplicate that ecosystem. And finally, most people don't even know this point, but working with DEQ permit number 18394, our zoo possesses a novel, man-made water filtration system for wastewater treatment.
Thank you, ma'am. Time's up.
I would like to
Sorry.
give her my 3 minutes, please.
Okay.
Dr. John Pardue, LSU professor in the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering and director of the Hazardous Substance Research Center, notes that he's taken his students out there on a regular basis. I quote Dr. Pardue. He says it's a novel system that has saved the zoo millions of dollars. He also says a system so novel should be part of the zoo, not hidden. He also states that animal sewage cannot be put into the human sewage system. And last but not least, our zoo did not flood in 2016. No animals were harmed. A Louisiana geological researcher has stated that the zoo currently is in a relatively safe area from flooding, but building a zoo near the Burbank area would be inviting disaster, quote unquote. NOAA's national storm surge data for that area reflects that even a Category 2 level hurricane could destroy a zoo. Devastation. Thank you so much for the extra time.
Yes, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a public hearing. Anyone else speak on this item? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed. Council members. There's no report to receive. Okay, we'll move.
I do have, but I'm having some computer problems. I'm sorry.
Councilwoman Banks.
So, of course, it's nothing I could say that is better than what we've heard today. And what we'll do is each council member have a variety of issues as it relates to the BREC Zoo. This is fundamental for an entire city parish. I have not met anyone, black, white, north, or south, that wants the zoo moved. And so we will be presenting and allowing those persons to speak at each council meeting until this matter is resolved, and we can begin to put money into the zoo and build it up to be the recreational powerhouse in which it has the capabilities of being. Thank you.